Hello friends! The 2022 national election is just around the corner and you have probably been caught up with the election fever. Perhaps you already have chosen your candidates and have been vocal in your support for them. Those are great! However, have you already checked the qualifications and character of the candidates that you wish to support? Or are you merely swept by fanaticism over them or swayed by the opinions and views of other people? These are questions that we need to ask ourselves. In the past years, all of us have witnessed how Filipinos suffered. Some lost their livelihoods or even their loved ones due to a series of devastating typhoons and other disasters that struck our country. Of course, we cannot forget about the ongoing pandemic. Considering all these hardships, we know for certain that things could have been better if we had competent government officials who handled these crises responsibly and with a sense of urgency. Therefore, the 2022 polls are extremely significant as electing competent leaders can pave the way for changes and reforms that all of us long for. However, this will only happen if all of us will learn to choose our leaders wisely. To do this, we need to be open-minded, learn to distinguish the truth from lies, and be involved. Though extremely challenging, the first step in becoming an educated voter is to be open-minded. When we talk to our family and friends about the candidates, we should not easily dismiss them and be overwhelmed by our emotions if they have different opinions from ours. Instead, let us be rational. We can ask questions such as, "Why do you think so?" Or, "Is that backed up by facts?" We can even weigh the pros and cons of the candidates together and from there, objectively make our conclusions. Besides, we should not forget that we have a common goal, to have good leaders. Likewise, when we use social media like Facebook or Twitter, let us not limit ourselves to knowing only about candidates that we like. There is nothing productive about reading articles and materials that we already know. Instead, we should learn to look around and read posts even if they do not match our personal beliefs. For instance, if you're a supporter of Bongbong Marcos, still try to read up articles about the other candidates. Entertaining the idea that there could be a better candidate out there is important because we are more likely to arrive at intelligent decisions. We either become more confident about the candidate we initially support or realize that there are better candidates after all. Remember, there is no shame in admitting having made a mistake in our choices. Instead, we must have the courage to change our stance when presented with new information. Second, learn to distinguish the truth from lies. As false news and information abound nowadays, simply engaging in discussions and being open to new information are not enough. We must also be wary of fake news, groundless rumors, and political propaganda. I know it is very tempting to believe in chismis or chicas, especially when someone speaks so certain about their claims. But we should think twice, if not thrice, before we accept them as true. One way of protecting ourselves from deception is by researching and assessing the candidates' track records by looking at credible sources. Don't worry, with just a few clicks, we can obtain information about the candidates. There are also numerous credible sites available that debunk fake news such as Fact Check Philippines and Raptors Fact Check. One can also choose to watch credible news television networks. Although media biases do exist, we cannot deny that their reports are generally factual in nature, compared to tabloids and edited photos and spliced videos on Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok, which may contain half-truths if not outright lies. When we are confident about what we know and its truthfulness, we obtain the opportunity to disseminate facts and correct information to our friends and family. Lastly, be involved. Let us choose to empower ourselves and get involved in this whole democratic process. By ourselves, we should be updated about current issues and news about the candidates. In this way, we can process our thoughts and think things carefully before we make our decision. And with this information, we can confidently exchange views and opinions with other people, knowing that what we share with them is not baseless or mere biases. By being involved, we affect change, not only within ourselves, but also to the people around us. To conclude, it is not every day that we get the power and chance to cast our votes. which will have a huge impact on our country's future. The time now is very crucial. This is not the time to be passive. We should not be blinded by the false claims and facades of the candidates. We should vote not because of utang na loob, not because they are popular or even good looking, not because you think they are winnable, and certainly not because you were given a few measly pesos. Instead, vote because you truly believe in your heart and your conscience that they are the fittest to do the job and who will work towards the interest of the greater majority. The power is ours, and let us make it count.